As a grade 10 learner, it is very important that we learn and explore the different study skills that are needed in order for you to pass the grade. An important and very essential skill is the listening skill. We listen in order to retain information and to remember. Listening is the active process of receiving and responding to spoken and sometimes unspoken messages. So it is us listening to the content that has been given to us, whether in a lecture or in class while the teacher is speaking and explaining the work. It is very important that we listen, we actively listen, and we actively receive what is being spoken at times, the unspoken messages that the teacher might be giving over to the learners. Listening is not just about hearing what the other person in the conversation has to say, but it means listening to understand and to remember. It is very important that we listen for understanding and that we listen to remember what has been taught, because a lot of learners are auditory learners. So for them, listening, for them obtaining a good listening skill is very important, as this is how they learn, and this is the only process that they have of learning, is for them to listen, understand, and remember what has been said. It is very essential for them because that is their way of studying, that is their way of understanding the content, the school content that is being done in school. So listening skills are very important, just as any other skills. Yes, it might sound simple and easy, but listening is very important because we have to hear the content. You must summarize. A lot of factors fall under listening. When we say listening skills, there are two types of listening skills. They're namely passive listening and active listening. Passive listening is when you listen to a conversation or a lesson without being a part of it. So, for instance, right now, what we're doing, you're listening to this lesson, but you're not being a part of it because you cannot communicate back to me because you're just going to watch over this lesson. Whereas active listening is when you listen attentively to a conversation or a lesson so that you can respond, point, and add an input into the conversation. Say if we were having a live lecture or a live lesson, then you would be able to interact with me, and that would be active listening. Active listening has to do with me talking and you listening attentively so that you can respond and say something back to me. Whereas passive listening has you listening to a conversation, but you're not a part of it. You know that at the end of the day, you won't have to answer me or to talk to me or answer me about what I was saying or about what I was teaching. With active listening, it means hearing the content, observing body language, paraphrasing, being self aware, being able to reflect, to question, and to summarize, and clarifying, and be able to clarify what you're about to say and what the other person has said to you, to understand if you guys, if the both of you heard each other correctly, and if the both of you understood what the other one wanted to say. So with listening skills, it's very important that we learn to listen in class, because then we can be a part of the lesson and we can interact with the teacher and be able to ask questions, and that is a learning, that is a study skill, that is an effective study skill that a lot of learners can use and utilize, especially in class. I really hope that this was beneficial and you understood the message I was trying to convey, and you were actively listening to my lecture, and I hope it will serve you well. Thank you.